Turning to the midterm elections, Republicans sweeping the Sunshine State, winning nearly every Florida battleground race and flipping key districts red.
Republican Attorney General Ashley Moody also scoring a major victory, receiving more votes than any other candidate in the state. Florida Attorney General Ashley Moody, welcome to the show. First, congrats on your win. Second, that is quite a stat because it means you beat one Ron DeSantis. What are Republicans in Florida, including yourself, getting right?
Well, it's the leadership of Governor DeSantis and the conservative policies we've implemented that have set Florida on a trajectory of success. You know, I'm hearing some of the stories you're reporting this morning and the extreme liberal policies like the open borders, the welcome centers the federal government is trying to push into these red states to welcome illegal immigrants. I mean, all of this is a burden on the taxpayers. And under Governor DeSantis' leadership in our great legislature, we had a $22 billion surplus in Florida last year. So Floridians see that. They see that our policies are working, where in other states they are not. And it really, truly is a win for Floridians.
Well, I know that you have talked a lot about the opioid epidemic that's facing this country. So what do you plan to do as your next term, with your next term as Florida Attorney General?
Yeah, the opioid epidemic that I was pushing back on in court, ensuring that we could get recovery funds into Florida. And as you know, Florida was the first state to resolve our litigation against opioid manufacturers, distributors, and pharmacies. But now the focus really is fentanyl, because that synthetic opioid is poisoning Americans. Certainly we're seeing that here in Florida. We did a seizure recently where we recovered enough fentanyl to kill half our population. It's directly attributable to the disastrous border policies of Biden. And as you know, Florida is the state that is suing and is pushing back in court on catch and release. And as long as we keep opening up welcoming centers, as long as Biden keeps trying to put the burden on red state taxpayers to deal with this, because they've already broken the federal bank and all of the blue states with liberal policies, they've busted those budgets. Now they're purposefully trying to make the red states pay for their border crisis. As long as you keep seeing that, we're going to keep seeing fentanyl flood in. We're going to keep seeing human trafficking. And as Attorney General, I, along with all of our law enforcement leaders, will keep pushing back.
Obviously, all eyes are on Florida. Asking the question how Ron DeSantis' dominating win could change the political landscape in once purple Florida. Look at these numbers. 57% of Hispanic voters, 52% of women, 58% of suburban voters, and 52% of independents all voted for Ron DeSantis. AG Ashley Moody, is it safe to say that Florida is the home of this country's Republican Party?
Well, I think Florida is a shining example. If you make leadership decisions with a focus on protecting individual rights and protecting the rights of your state to implement good policy, your state will flourish. Your citizens will flourish. That's how Republicans approach leadership. Will continue to do that. And I hope we remain an example to the rest of the nation.
Attorney General, really quickly to you, what do you think about 2024? The New York Post had a cover yesterday saying "the future," referring to DeSantis.
It is hard to deny that the way Florida has conducted itself over the last few years, the leadership of DeSantis, our other leaders throughout the state, the way that they have had an eye towards being proactive, to making sure when we see reckless policy like flash mobs going into stores and organized retail theft, we're proactive. We implement legislation to make sure that can't happen here. We're proactive in making sure that